Today we're going to finish the last few big jobs around the farm before winter. We're going to make one more batch of silage to make some money. We're going to make a decision for what crop we're going to plant this fall. And we're going to finally get to harvesting our soybeans, all before winter arrives. And we're finally started on the grass. We are having a worker help us today. They should be following us with the baler. You can see them back there. They should catch up, but I think we're going to have to slow down a little bit since they have a round baler. They're going to get a little too far for follow me to work, but that's what we're going to start off here. It looks like our yield isn't as good as it was last time. And let's hop out and see if we can figure out why. Expected yield 93%. We did not apply lime. It looks like, oh, nitrogen's okay. We didn't do anything to this field. It says okay, not good for nitrogen. So I assume we forgot to put lime down and fertilizer last time. Well, I know we didn't do lime. I thought we didn't need to do fertilizer when I checked it, but my mistake. So we won't have as good of a yield this time around as we did last, but that's okay. We're not even going to ted it up or row it up this time around. We're just going to have the bale behind us, kind of make it one job, and then we'll get to use the John Deere and the front loader or the front PTO to be able to wrap the bales a lot easier than we have in the past. Yeah, so far the yield not looking as good as we were expecting, but we will take it. Since chickens have arrived on the farm, we now want to start focusing on prepping for cattle. And I do think I found the barn, or the building, I should say, that we are going to use for that. It's just getting enough funding. We need $85,000. I'm hoping today we get to that dollar amount. Well, it's been kind of an interesting mowing session doing it this way. I'm not sure it's the most beneficial, but it seems to be quicker in my head at least. So like having to do this specific route that we're doing because of the way the mower turns and to avoid running into the harvester, or not the harvester, but the baler as well. So that's been interesting, but we're almost done. A couple more little loops here and we'll get the John Deere over here with the wrapper and get these bales wrapped. And then in October, we'll be able to get them sold and see how much money we made off of it this time. Even though we didn't prepare the field as much as we did, you can see there's a good amount of bales out here to make some money off of silage. And that should do it. We just need the baler to finish up. We're going to go get the John Deere prepared while they do that. Yeah, I'm excited to finally use the bale wrapper on the front of a tractor so we don't have to back up for everything. It'd be pretty sweet to do it that way. So 99% sure this will work. There's always that little bit of doubt. Yeah, we'll just need to lower it. Yeah, this should be perfect. And just have to cruise around, and we will have to back up when we drop them, but it's so much better process. My goodness, I'm in love with it. Looks like we will have to buy some wrap today. We did have to buy a little bit of netting. Not bad, you know, that's just part of the job, part of the process here. And we will remember about 12/15 in October is when we'll be able to sell the silage. Getting these last two bales wrapped here. Next, we'll get the rest of the bales moved. I was going to try to move them while we were wrapping, but it just was a little too time consuming. So we'll get them moved out of the way. We'll get some at least some lime put down. I tend to remember an issue with fertilizer precision farming in grass, so we will see how that treats us today. I shouldn't say an issue, I should say a change in how it works. But what a joy using the wrapper on the front. So we do have plenty of lime in capacity right now, so we will just fill this up. I don't think we'll bring it close. The grass field's close enough, so when we need to refill, we can just head back over here. No big issue. And it shouldn't, maybe 2 hoppers full here. is all we're going to need. But away we go, applying the lime. It looks like we are applying about 3.5 tons per hectare, adjusting to 1.75 right here. So yeah, not too bad. Not dropping too fast. Shouldn't take much time at all to get this job done. But we did have to fill up a third time there, and you can see we didn't use the entirety of the third one. I'm hoping we have enough fertilizer. That's the next question I have, being that we might be able to solve this. We'll show you what we're talking about when we get over there. We'll only having 300 liters of fertilizer here. I don't think it's going to be enough, but we will give it a shot before we go buy some more. Let's go ahead, and we see it is turning it. Yeah, it's using way too much because it's not recognizing the crop type. So if we come in here, nitrogen value reference, we hit that, but I don't think we want to do that. So we're just going to go ahead and just kind of use a little more product than we need to. But it looks like it's now recognizing it as sorghum. What does that do to... Yeah, that gives us enough. That gives us enough nitrogen, so it'll be a little bit more than we need, but I don't think it'll have a negative effect. And after buying another round of fertilizer here, our balance is down to $19,000. But this should be enough to finish the job. Well, another job done with a little bit of fertilizer left over. We're starting to get a decent amount of wool. I know we talk about it every time, but we're not really close to the peak price. We're going to let that keep piling up. The sheep have 6,000 food, so we don't really need to feed them tonight. Goat's milk, we're at 812. Still not producing a ton super fast. Not a lot of goats that are able to produce the milk in there yet, so plenty of food for them. And our new chickens, I think we produce, 85 eggs, but it was 60 first thing in the morning, so I think they're picking up their pace here today. We did get them late in the night last night. Looking pretty good. I think what I'm going to do for the rest of today is we got to start picking some apples. So I'm going to start picking apples, and we're going to probably get them sold next month. There's just way too many apples for feeding the production, so we're going to have to do apple juice selling. We could see plenty of apple juice over there, but then also it's time to get these apples picked. So I will see you in October. We're going to get that field over there planted. We'll talk about that in the morning, as well as selling the silage and the apples. Well, we're wanting to somewhat crop rotate on this farm, and we're going to switch to barley. I was going to do canola, which would have been a much better crop to rotate to, but I got my months a little confused, and we cannot plant canola in October. September was our last opportunity for that, so we're going to go ahead and, make sure we get a crop here planted in the fall, so that we can have it to harvest in the summer. And it's going to be barley, so it will produce a little bit more straw for us. I don't think we're really going to need the excess straw or the feed for the chickens, but it's definitely a crop that we could take advantage of. Make some money off of it, as well as, make sure we have enough goods for when we do get the cattle in here, which is, I'm hoping, pretty soon. Financially, once we can afford it, we're going for it. We got all the goods, the ability to make the food. We just need a feed mixer to go along with the enclosure, and then we can get some purchase from the animal dealer. But right now we're going to focus on getting this barley field planted and prepped for, just going dormant for the winter until it's ready to start sprouting a little bit better and growing a little bit more in the spring. And then it looks like we do have our soybeans to harvest, so we'll be getting to those today as well. But I wanted to get the field planted first because we got, you got a couple months that we could harvest those soybeans. We don't have to get to them today, but we will do our best. If not, we'll get them done in November. And with the headlands done, it's time to start focusing on the ups and downs. Making pretty good time. I'm thinking about time when we get done with this, we'll be ready to sell the silage. So we'll do that next. After that, we'll sell some apples and finish up with this soybean harvest, which will be the first time doing soybeans here on the farm. Won't be able to see that financial gain from that until summer, but definitely good to you know, have that money that we know is going to be coming in, and we'll know pretty much how much that money's going to be when we're done with the harvest. So, get focused here on the ups and downs, and I will see you in a little bit. With the barley all planted, enough time has passed to, how are we looking over here? 185, 185, all right. But enough time's passed for us to sell the silage. We're going to go ahead, and looks like there's a great demand there right now. So we're going to get this sold. It should only be 2 trips. But after that, you can see we have a decent amount of apples piling up, and just so you know, that's nowhere near the bulk of them. But let's do this first. Like I said, it'll be 2 loads. Should be some good money. All right, well, we struggled a little bit, but we got here. So we're going to, I think we can just sneak. Do these things reset every time we load in? I think they might. But there is a little $12,000 income there, and another 33 plus 4. We're at 70,000. Yeah, silage pays so good on normal economy or easy economy. Bailey in the back there. We're gonna go with that name. Thank you for a ton of suggestions. But once I saw Bailey, I had to go with it. It made sense. Good old Bailey, just balance of just a god here. Cruising around, we're going 75 miles an hour. It doesn't phase him. Let's go get that other load, and then we'll move on to those apples. Dollar amount's going to be surprisingly very high by the end of today's episode. We sent it. And for our second load here, should be the same amount we got in the front last time. We'll go ahead and see what we get in the back here. A little bit less, but we're up to 118. Let's go back. We're gonna get some of these apples loaded and show you the magical money. I'm hoping this is a quick rainstorm and doesn't cause too much moisture. I think it's gonna be. Should just be this hour, and then we can still get to that soybean harvest, because I definitely want to get that done in October. Boy, this is gonna be a lot of apples to sell. I mean, we're gonna shut off the production until spring, so it doesn't generate any more apples. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna deactivate all 4 of these. Okay, so those are deactivated. Let's see where we're selling today. Farmer's market, beautiful. So it should just be cruising right by the house, right over here. So luckily, I know we got one on the roof, which is hilarious, but this is gonna be a lot of money. And it's definitely a little interesting of a mod. We'll just leave it at that, but it's definitely gonna help us progress. And that's what I wanted it for. So let's see, we're up to 133,000 now, and just gonna see it continue to go up. So I'm gonna get the rest of these sold, and then we will show you our final dollar amount. We're up to 284, and we'll get the rest of the apples and the apple juice in this next load. I never adjusted the mod, but this is definitely something that is just a little excessive. I'm not gonna stop using it. I think it's absolutely perfect for what I wanted it for. But yeah, just so you guys know, it's a little OP. We're at 364. We got plenty of money. So we're going to give a call to the contractors that are going to build our cattle enclosure. And I'm thinking, from what I've heard from them in the past, we're probably not going to be able to get this prepped and built until spring. They're not going to have the materials ready because they're going to have to order them. And then by the time they get them in stock, it'll probably be just piles of snow here. So we're just gonna wait this storm out, but I am gonna get the harvester prepped because we're gonna get some soybeans harvested next. We'll be looking on the market for the feed mixer as well for the cattle. So there's, you know, the money's not gonna last forever. We're definitely gonna spend it all. And the rain did clear up for us, so we will get started with the harvest here. I mean, that is an impressive color there at first. It was pretty high, but now we're at 96%, 97% yield. That's we're gonna not complain about that. Soybeans filling up in the harvester pretty quick here. We'll see how long it takes before we have to get the gravity wagon over here and We'll have to dump out the rest of the wheat back into the silo that is in the gravity wagon right now, but that's no big concern. Let's go ahead and get a little bit focused here on the soybeans. We'll see how long it takes to fill this harvester up, if we're gonna. Well, the headland filled it up 17%, which is not bad. Soybeans do pay really good, so we have to remember that we're not really focused on a huge number of liters because the payday's so well. And looking at the price fluctuation in June, we're going to hit close to 4,000 per 1,000 liters. So that, yeah, we're getting rich here on Old School today. Well, a little more than halfway done with the harvest, and it's pretty obvious we're not going to fill this thing all the way up, so we're just going to finish it and unload it into the silo ourselves. 13,000 liters already. I mean, it's going to be a great payday no matter what, and we're going to get all the... We're going to, you know, we're budget well, but we're potentially going to get everything we need for animals very soon. Well, the harvest is coming to an end here. We have over 21,000 liters already. Looks like we will get a little bit over 22,000. And we've got some plans in the spring. We got 2 fields to plant. We're going to figure out which one we want to put potatoes in, because that's going to be a crop we're going to need for pigs. And we'll have to get some new equipment for that. So that'll be some budgeting we'll do in the winter. We're going to figure out where we're going to put the cattle enclosure. I think it's going to go on this field. See if we can expand the farm based on the budget. We'll get in, like I said, we'll get deep into that in the winter. But horses are coming soon too. I think we have everything we need to feed them. So getting some horses and cattle next. That leaves just pigs. I think we're going to bypass the opportunity to do fish on this series. You know, we did enough fishing in the beginning. I'm not super excited about anything to do with fishes to be do with fish in this game. If we do, we'll do a separate playthrough. It's just like a fish industry, which we might do eventually. Probably missed the window for that viewership wise, but I digress. So let's get this dropped off and we will wrap it up today. Pretty eventful one. We, you know, checked on our new chickens. We got our grass field harvested and the silage sold. We got this field, you know, last episode we did put some lime down. We'll get it planted in the spring, and the same with whatever remains of the field back here that we just harvested. Sold a bunch of apples. We have that production dormant until spring, but we are still creating some apple juice with some leftover apples we have, so going pretty good. The one thing here you can see, last fruit says soybeans, so I'm going to be interested to see if this actually does work on a wilderness map. I do have the crop rotation mod installed, and I will show you our plans as we hover over here and see. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. It just says fallow land. So I don't think it's actually going to work on wilderness maps, so we'll probably deactivate that. I don't know if we got the extra bonus in the soybean harvest. It would have been about 110% bonus, so anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Bushes are in the way. I'm Socks Way Up. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next one.